On April 15th, 1952, one of the most bizarre and unforgettable moments in sports history happens when during a Detroit Red Wings playoff run, somebody throws an octopus onto the ice. And from the stands, all you see is this blob of thing on the ice with just total confusion. There's a story and a symbolization behind this that has led to Detroit having such pride and led to other unusual things happening in the culture of hockey that doesn't happen anywhere else in sports. Today we're going to dive into the history of the octopus being thrown onto the ice, but is it the weirdest tradition in hockey history on Daily Sports History? Welcome to Daily Sports History. I'm Ethan Reese, your guide, as you daily learn more about sports history, increasing your sports knowledge, as we find out if the octopus toss is the weirdest thing in hockey history. So it all began on April 15th, 1972. The Red Wings were on the verge of making a historic Stanley Cup final run. Now this was with the original six. So there were six original hockey teams for what's known for the modern NHL, which included the Detroit Red Wings, the Toronto Maple Leafs, the New York Rangers, the Boston Bruins, the Chicago Blackhawks, and the Montreal Canadiens. And the Red Wings had a great season that year, leading the league, scoring more than 20 points more than any other team, and giving up 20 less goals than any other team that year, showing their dominance on the ice, being led by Gordie Howe, and which led them to have the top record in the NHL that year, and they swept the Toronto Maple Leafs in the semifinal round. And in the finals, and they were on the verge of sweeping the Montreal Canadiens up 3-0 in the series, with Game 4 being held in Detroit, when two brothers did something that would change hockey history forever. Pete and Jerry Cusimano, brothers who owned a fish market in Detroit's Eastern Market, were diehard Red Wings fans. And while working with Octopus at their shop, they had an epiphany. Octopus are known for having 8 legs. And to win the Stanley Cup back then, you needed 8 wins. It's a message from the golf gods that the octopus symbolized something for the Detroit Red Wings. And during Game 4, after Gordie Howe scored his first goal for Detroit, Pete hurled a 4-pound octopus on the ice from his seat. The octopus, which is very slimy, slid across the rink into the blue line, shocking both players and officials. Yes, now it may not be as shocking, which to me it's still shocking every time I see it, but it is when no one has ever done this before. Seeing an octopus anywhere shocks me. Even at a restaurant, even in the ocean, I'm like, whoa, there's an octopus. Let alone to see one thrown onto the ice in the middle of a game. And what happened after this? Well, they cleaned it up and finished the game, where the Red Wings would score 3 goals, shutting down the Canadiens, completing their perfect postseason, getting their 8th win, becoming the first team to have an undefeated playoff run. And this was an unusual thing, but the Cusimano brothers really took on the role of this. They didn't hide from it. It was a quirky tradition that started, and fans quickly adopted the octopus toss during playoff games. And the fans really climbed onto it. The newspaper featured photos about it. It almost got more coverage than the actual win itself, because it was such a unique thing to think about. And really, the idea about it really is confusing itself. Sneaking in an octopus into an actual game, first off, it would smell, for one. And it's a little harder nowadays, as we have way more security. You could roll up with an arsenal of weapons and no one would say anything. Be weird, but you could. And the tradition would evolve over time. Now, the 50s and 60s were a great time for the Red Wings, but the 70s and 80s, it was a struggle. They missed the playoffs consistently as more teams joined the league, and the octopus toss kind of lost a little traction. The lack of postseason meant fewer fans were encouraged by the ritual, and it faded into obscurity for a couple decades. The turning point came in the 1986-87 season, when head coach Jacques Demers led the Detroit Red Wings to their best season in 14 years, making a deep playoff run, which reinvigorated the hopes among the fans. And the Red Wings actually worked with the Detroit Superior Fish Company to supply octopuses for a playoff promotion, signaling the team was back. And during Game 1 of the playoffs, fans threw multiple octopuses onto the ice, marking its official return. And during the 1990s, they really made another comeback where they won 3 conference titles and 2 Stanley Cups, showing the success. And during the 1995 playoffs, fans threw 36 octopuses onto the ice during Game 1, including one that weighed 38 pounds. Remember, the first one only weighed 4 pounds. Then another iconic moment happened when Al Soboyka, the arena's Zamboni driver, became an icon when he grabbed the octopus and twirled it over his head as he helped clean the ice, making it another tradition for the Red Wings and hockey history. And in 1995, Detroit actually released a mascot, a symbol, Al the Octopus, a large purple mascot that would be displayed in the arena during a playoff run, symbolizing the Detroit tradition and their predominance in Hockey Town. Al wears a Detroit Red Wings jersey and has red blinking pupils and is a fixture even to this day, as they actually hang 2 octopus up in the arena, as now you need 16 games to win a Stanley Cup. Now, of course, animal rights activists do oppose this as there are concerns of animal cruelty, and this has led to some fans being arrested who attempt to sneak in octopus. Now, it's often kind of overlooked, and due to pressure from PETA, and the NHL actually banned the throwing of octopus and the owl twirl that is done by the Zamboni driver. And there would be a $10,000 fine for violations of the octopus throw. But there was so much backlash from fans, they eventually just overturned that rule. Now, I will mind you that these octopus that are thrown are all already deceased, are not alive when they are thrown. They are all deceased. And it's actually led to them having proper etiquette. There's octopus tossing etiquette. Yes, that's a thing. First, you boil the octopus, making sure the octopus is dead, and it removes slime and mucus, making it less messy and easier to clean up. And they also limit the size they give out. They don't want more 38 pounders. And they put it in a baggie. They put it in an actual bag for you. Like the Superior Fish Company is the unofficial supplier of octopus to the Red Wings fans, and they put it in a bag for you so that it doesn't get yucky while you try to sneak it in under your hockey sweater. Now, the toss usually begins at the start of the game or during stoppage plays to ensure minimal disruption to the actual gameplay itself. And fans are supposed to aim away from players, referee, and other personnel on the ice. The goal is to land in the center ice without causing any harm to the ice or any more delay. Now, the delays usually are a quick thing. It's picked up. There's not a lot of issues for it. They just halt play for a little bit. But when they throw like over 30, the team will actually face penalties if there's too many, as they have to stop play for too long to clean up. But the question is this the most unique thing that hockey does? Maybe. But they're not the only one. The Nashville Predators have adopted another thing where fans toss catfish onto the ice for their own good luck charm, a tradition modeled after the octopus toss. And the Seattle Kraken, the newest team in the NHL, has a tradition as well, as players toss plush salmon into the crowd after home victories, spinning it over their heads in an homage to the owl spin that was done by the octopus. Now, this is not just limited to home games. This has been done at away games as well. At a Blackhawks game in 2024, Kings fan threw an octopus onto the ice after Detroit scored, and this act got boos from the fans as it viewed more as a home thing in Detroit, not to be done away from home. But it also happened again at a Utah Hockey Club event where fans threw octopus, and it hasn't only been done in hockey. In 1987, an octopus was thrown onto the field of the Detroit Tigers game after clinching the American League East title, showing it was more a Detroit sports identity than just for the Red Wings. And this tradition lives on to this day. Now, it's not something that's done at every single game. It's done at important moments and significant in Detroit history. And it's interesting to see such a unique moment transcend and bring a sports team together. I can't think of any other unique traditions like this. The catfish that the Predators do is unique as well, but this has been happening for over 70 years in Detroit. A tradition that brings the team together. When a team is more than just what they do on the ice, when the fans are part of the experience, is when a team really connects to its city. The Detroit Red Wings will never leave Detroit, no matter what happens. They are connected from fans to team. And it's traditions like this, like the Octopus throw, that connect them ever. And it's what makes sports so great. I want to thank you for listening to today's Daily Sports History. If you like this, please make sure you like and follow wherever you're listening. If you want, throw in a little review saying how much you love the show and what animal you would like to toss onto the ice. And come back tomorrow for more Daily Sports History.